Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Hope you are all doing good. I've been following the China related news and felt some mutedness about them. Is it because the shine of Chinese economy and influence is dwindling down, or is India somehow unraveling China in front of the world? I have always felt China was always a bit insecure about India's thriving and vibrant democracy. Indian democracy and its gargantuan population prove CCP's arguments of ruling with an iron fist false. India proves that democracy works just fine even when it comes to handling of a huge population. The government doesn't need to stub out rights or freedoms to uphold law and order. In the long term, our control is not going to work as the people will start to rebel against it. We all saw the leaked videos from China when CCP tried to basically imprison average citizens during the recent global medical situation, and the people rebelling against it, especially the younger generation. China used to love to flaunt its economy on India's face, but most of that is gone now as the world is waking up to the reality of its economy. India's economy is pro worker. Of course, we do have our problems just like other democracies, but we address it rather than smothering it down. We have workers' rights and unions in India. China has no such system despite claiming to be communist. I have always believed communism's ultimate goal is ultra control and denial of human rights. China is the finest example of it. The other issue is people leaving China. I came across articles after articles reporting about young Chinese citizens leaving behind their motherland and moving to Western countries where they have basic rights and freedom. I've always believed that in the long term, curbing of basic freedom is not sustainable for any regime. Of course, India too has the problem of brain drain, but not to the levels of China. People leaving India is due to the broken tax system or the zero benefit situation for the taxpayers. Hopefully, the current government wakes up and smells the coffee before the brightest have left the country. China's policy of brushing all human rights violations under carpet is no longer working either. What China does is to whip up world sentiments against India by portraying Indians under bad light. The recent anti-CAA protest had outside support, particularly from China. The China jihadi nexus twisted the law and then spread outright lies, especially in US, that Christians were not included in under the CAA provisions. Actually, the bill gave refuge to Christians, Buddhists, Jews, Sikhs, as well as other minority religions coming from neighboring countries, which happen to be all Muslim majority. The exclusion of Ahmadiyya Muslims and Rohingyas are used as a stick to attack the bill. But Ahmadiyyas were the prominent protesters for partition of India and creation of Pakistan in the 40s. We cannot forget the attacks on Buddhists and Hindus by Rohingyas in Myanmar, which is not at all mentioned. So, why should the same people be given refugee status in post partition India who hold such intolerance against other religions? The plight of Bangladeshi Hindus is going on as of now, right in front of our eyes. China has always used the jihadi proxies to attack India via multiple riots and fanning of ethnic violence. The examples are Manipur and Assam. At the same time, they violently put down Islam in their own country while crying about Palestinians. Then there is the Chinese racism and condescension. A part of Chinese culture itself comes from India, that is Buddhism. But CCP loves to condescend India and Indians. The recently blatant racist video released by CCP making fun of Indian skin tones was widely deplored. Also, how CCP's mouthpieces mocked India's mass cremation during the recent medical emergency was diabolical. No civilized nation in their right mind would do such things so publicly, maybe with the exception of Pakistan. West condescend India and Indians subtly, while the CCP does it openly. CCP basically bullied West into accepting them by sheer projection and posturing. They tried the same thing with India and failed miserably. While the world was struggling with the medical situation, China chose to attack India at Galwan. They thought that Indians will get scared by their posturing. What CCP forgot was the sheer grit and doggedness of Indians in general. After all, Indians fought almost 200 years against the Brits and was long fighting before with invaders and winning too. The Indian government was also clever in banning TikTok, which is basically the propaganda machine of CCP, to turn a country's youth against each other. Indians know very well how to deal with CCP and is the only one to do that. In order to control a bully, the only way to do is to stand up to it and make it retreat. Hopefully, the West will learn its lessons from India's response. It will be wise for the rest of the world to watch and check CCP's behavior in the African continent. CCP is behaving like the old East India Company with regard to Africa and other small economies. India treats small nations with respect and equal footing. India believes in local enabling, while CCP takes its workers to target nation and takes over the nation's resources like East India Company did. On the other hand, India brings up herself as a viable option for these struggling economies. The establishment of Zanzibar IIT was done with this mindset of local enabling. Meanwhile, India urgently needs to stop the brain drain and fix the broken tax system. We are doing most of the things right, but needs to curb the coup efforts and the riots and unrest sowed by foreign entities like CCP. India will grow by leaps and bounds if the current government remains at helm. Lot of outside forces are trying to force the elected government out, but I am hoping that Indians are wise to these conspiracies and will be vigilant. So, what do you guys think? Leave your opinions in the comment section. For more content like this, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.